The Money Mindset 2025. Join us if you are looking to elevate your mindset to the next level and get your financial information and game back to where it needs to be. This is the blue chip mindset on steroids. We have 80 plus episodes from the last 2 years that you missed available via playback. You can get all of those episodes. Also, every live stream on Sunday night with all of our great contributors with subjects: cryptocurrency, investment, money 101, money 201. Also, if you're looking to become a social media content creator, this is the group for you. 2 times a month, we give you content creator information about how much money you can make via content creation. What are the most popular forms of content creation coming forward in the next few years, and how you can capitalize on an opportunity to be a content creator. Join patreon.com/Coach Greg Adams to find the Money Mindset link. Let's get our blue chip mindset on. The window is still open. The bar is low. Main event, 57 and broke. Why is this important? Well, number one, we've all been down bad. We've all been down bad. We've all been in bad financial situations, me included. All right, me included. So with that being said, a lot of us don't realize that there is a way out of this system. But when you follow what I've been telling you, these stories that you're going to hear, this story you're going to hear is going to be very common. De-evolution, okay? Feminism's reverse engineering of American women. I wrote this book basically saying that down the line, we're going to face this effect of where feminism lied to them. All right, I wrote this book right here in 2019, the entire 2019. It was published January 2020. And because of these lies that they lived, they don't realize that their feminism card is going to expire. It's going to expire when? Most of the time after the wall. All right, so this isn't going to be all of them, but it's going to be a majority of them. If they don't have someone to protect them, guide them, or any of this, they will find out that life is going to get tough. The barbarian is going to be at the gate. Now, when they come out here, they're going to come out here in simp wolf whistle, and they're going to say, hey, you need to help me, or, I just want to share my story of my pain, with no ability to recover. No ability to recover. They're going to need a miracle. And you're going to say, well, if you just do what my uncle did, you'll be okay. Okay, but this is going to be what you're going to hear here. Women that are aging into that post-wall, post-career, 55, where they hit the glass ceiling, they're going to have a hard time recovering if they didn't save, if they didn't invest, if they got a divorce, if they were a single mother. They're going to have a hard time recovering. And if they follow their dream and they do something, they go on their journey or some sort, they're going to find themselves up shit's creek. Some of these people are going to be your mothers. Some of them are going to be your aunts, your sisters, your cousins. So this is why everybody's going to be affected. Not only that, social services. They're going to vote a certain way because of this predicament. For instance, they voted for Joe Biden because of this predicament. Student loan debt was the number one reason, and often the only reason Joe Biden got the votes that he got, the 70-something million votes. The most popular president of all time. Then Kamala Harris, they start to vote this way because of their predicaments. Not because of the system, the white man. It is because of the decisions they made. Namely, number one, following a lie, a path of lies like feminism, not being traditional, divorce culture, and you name it. Okay. The reason why I had to set it up is because this woman's explaining this right here. All right, let's see. And shout out to her going viral right now. 253,000 views on a small channel. Guys, you never know. I tell you, content creators, you need to get after it. This woman has 13,000 subscribers, and she's in the boomer age, although a young boomer. You guys need to be making content. Okay, make content. Do not be afraid to go out here. You do have a demographic that will watch you, and you can go viral at any moment. 57 and broke. Remember, we're not shitting on her. I've definitely been down bad financially. I was never really broke. I just didn't have enough money for discretionary income. meaning to do extra. I just had enough money to cover my bills. That certainly is not broke. But when you don't have a financial future, a nest egg, a retirement, when you don't have a 401k, any in property investments, you're going to be broke in your 50s. All right. So let's start with this woman here and get through the video. It's 10 minutes, but there are going to be a lot of pauses. All right, here we go. This is I Am Celeste Jonah.
Hey, everybody. I am recording this in my car, which I don't record in my car very often. I usually will do it at home with a full setup, but I wanted to jump on. And as you all know, one of my slogans is truth, transparency, and triumph. And I have, been wanting to share things, but it is difficult because I battle with who's going to watch it? Is my family going to see this? Are those quote unquote so-called friends or my foes, whatever, going to see this? But I also say, which is my tagline, I tell my truth without shame and guilt so you can tell yours.
Okay. Well,
I'm going to start here. I've been trying to figure out where to start. I pre-recorded originally a video about me and the first guy that I dated in college. And I scrapped all of that because it was really, the way I did it was boring. I was bored with my own video. But I don't know how long this is going to be, but like I'm in my car. I'm actually at work, and this is during lunchtime. And I said, Celeste, if you don't do it now, you won't do it.
All right. Shout out to Celeste out here sharing and opening up. This is a safe space, Celeste, so I won't be that critical of you, but I will be critical of the general consensus of that women are going to be boss babes and they're not going to ever need a man and they're going to be able to work themselves to wealth. We know that's not true. It's not true. Very few women do that. Just to let you go, very few women do that. But unfortunately, they spend their 20s and 30s believing that they will, and they're going to be CEO by 32, and it's a complete dumpster fire after that. All right. Now, she's going to leave some shit out of this information here, but she said she had a good man, but she didn't want him. All right, but let's continue.
It has been really tough for me, and because of some decisions that I have made that I regret making. I always talk about Atlanta. And I feel like when I left my corporate job, making a good salary, and decided to chase a dream, thinking everything would fall into place, things would be in order, my life blew up. It has not been the same in 3 years. And I've had a lot of thoughts around it, and I may talk longer than I need to, but so I'm sorry. And I might have to break this up.
Spit it out.
But when today was a hard day. Reality is something else. I recognize that most of it is my doing and undoing. And honestly, I really want God to wave a magical wand and take me back to the day I was going to resign and listen to the advice I was given. But I
all right.
didn't, because I think I'm grown and I have the answers.
Yeah, there we go right there. So, guys, I mean, listen. Here's what I'm doing here for people to want to know, because they're like, you're picking on this old lady. What I'm telling you is that us as men, you might be 20 and 30 and you're giving up hope. You're like, this sucks for us and we ain't going to ever get nothing. Nah, it don't, bro. You're going to be fine, because I'm 49. She's almost 8 years older than me. I see women in this situation. I see it in real life. And these were women that was having a party when they were young. They had it all figured out. They knew what they were going to do. They didn't need no man. They was going to divorce their husband and be rich. They were going to start a business and be CEO, and they had no plan. All right, they took the lowest possible situation and said, I'm going to be that. Now, I don't mind following a dream, but you're 54 years old following a dream? Nah, bro. That's a little, for a woman, no. For a woman, no. And I'm guaranteeing you her dream was some shit that nobody cares about. She's going to sell African medallions or African art, right? Nobody gives a fuck about that shit, all right? But you were passionate about it. You just were passionate about it. You didn't have you said my uncle used to sell African art, so you did it. This is misguided and undecided. She even admits it. I made some bad decisions, all right? I really didn't know what I was doing. And these people will do this and jump off, and they will have no plan. They will just say they know somebody that did it, right?
And I found out I don't. I used to say I would want to go back before that bad relationship out of college. And I'll talk about that. But I don't want to go back that far. I just want to go back 3 years. The scary part about it is, even if I had made what I thought would be the perfect decisions, it doesn't mean anything would have ended up differently. I still could have been in this predicament. I didn't see this coming. I thought I had prepared, and evidently I didn't, which makes me think about a couple of things. Okay, so what happened was, let me just go back. When I left my corporate job, I was 54, I believe, 53, 54. And I'm on the latter half of my life. And sometimes I think and ask myself, what was I thinking? Was it really that important to you? Could you not have just kept it going and done this later? But I didn't. So I stepped out. I believed everything would fall into place and I would be okay. And y'all, when God tells you something, listen and be obedient to it. And I didn't. And I know that is part of the reason I'm having issues today. When I left to go to Atlanta to pursue acting, I kept hearing, you're not going to need to look for a job. You're not going to need to look for a job. And unbeknownst to me, he had something waiting for me. Before I left, someone here in Memphis connected me to somebody in Atlanta about, working.
Oh, the humanity.
Okay. All right. I see what happened. All right. I see what happened. So you were in Memphis. All right. Memphis again. Memphis again is always the usual suspects. You went from Memphis to Atlanta to pursue acting. I mean, yeah. That was a bad decision. That definitely was bad. You definitely should have been talked out of that shit. Did you even have a social media? Like, you didn't even blow up on social media. You were just going to get acting jobs in Atlanta. Like, there's no mammies that look like this. There's no women in Atlanta. There's no women nationwide that could be. They could have got Esther Roll from the grave. All right. They could have brought out that whole, what's her name? Maya Angelou. All right. They could have bought you competing against Maya Angelou and Esther Roll for jobs. All right, yeah, bro. All right. Yeah, yo, you need, even actors are unemployed till they get a gig. So you could have kept your job. So apparently you're going to go to Atlanta and get a job. Okay, let's continue here. That was a bad decision for sure.
A job. And I started going through the process, the interview, filling out the application, and able to do the job. It was something that was right up my alley. Unfortunately, I allowed myself to I self-sabotaged. And I said, you know what? I can't do this job. I'm going to be acting. I don't know when I'll need off, when I'll do this, A, B, C, and D. Made an excuse because I'm thinking it's going to be okay. You'll get someplace steady, consistent. You'll be able to take off when you need to and so forth. Because I'm thinking, I don't want to interrupt or get anybody else in trouble. If I had been a little bit more wise and I guess maybe selfish, I would have taken the job without question. That was in October of 2022, rolling into November. I did not find a job until, September of 2022, almost a whole year.
All right, so let me stop. I mean, I was telling you guys, you're going to need income. You're going to need income, especially how most Americans live. You cannot go a year without income. So you quit a job, no income. It took you a year. And I was just trying to eloquently, calmly explain you're going to need income or else you're going to go broke. It's going to take you 2 years to recover from 1 year without income. It could take you 5 years to recover from 1 year without income. And this is the exact scenario that I said. And of course, we had a lot of guys, not my uncle. All right, guys, you got to have income. You're in the 90% of people that make under $100,000. You can ill afford to go a year without income. You're going to get eaten up and gobbled up quickly. Quickly. And it's going to take you years to recover. Despite the fact that your auntie did it and your uncle did it, you going to be fucked up. All right. And then you're in your 50s trying to recover from a year without income. You going to be up shit's creek. All right. So you're always going to need income. That's what got her. The quitting of the job got her. The pursuing of a pretty bad career choice got her. And then the year, I thought I'll just get in on the other. There's not a lot of jobs out here, guys. So don't take it for granted that you're just going to pick up another job after quitting. Never quit your day job.
I hustled. I drove DoorDash. I did Amazon deliveries. I worked overnight at Walmart. I did everything I could. And I'm sorry, y'all. I did it's called Insta work. Everything I could. And then I also ended up withdrawing my pension and my retirement because I just didn't have enough money.
Very common.
And this is not how I expected things to go.
Yeah. Again, if you had some instructions, all right, if you had a man or you were willing to listen to a man, you probably wouldn't be in this predicament. But listen, she's got the tears going on. Please do not cry for her, Argentina. I don't feel sorry for her in this situation because I've done similar things and it took me a while and I lost a lot of things from it, but I was able to recover. I knew I had to jump off point at mid-30s. I couldn't do it in my 40s, so I had to make a decision. Now, you also have this double, triple whammy, withdrawing all of your retirement 401k. I mean, this is double, triple whammy. So you got no income for a year. You're withdrawing any of your investments with major penalty, with penalties. Then you have to put that money back, which is not going to happen. So you screwed the pooch on that. Retirement gone. All right, there's no retirement now. And of course, guess what? Oh, coach, you ain't right. My uncle did it. No, bruh, you're screwed. You can't live life like this. On a whim, I'm going to go work for Tyler Perry. Okay, so she has no investments, no real estate, no any of the guys. You know how many women are in this situation? I would dare say 70% of women are in this situation. Now, the problem is they can't get married. They can't marry themselves out of it. They can't date their way out of it. And they can't sell pussy anymore. So that's why they're screwed. They can't, they could jump on OnlyFans if they want, and she might have to jump on OnlyFans. So these are the things you're going to find that a lot of women are living this life, right? Trying to go through several journeys. They go through their journeys and they go through their eras and they're just going off of a whim, namely because they chose feminism. They chose to live their own life. I can live my own life and make my own choices. Well, after age 32, that card cannot be played anymore. That card cannot be played. You can't have a baby. You can't have a baby and get child support out of this. You can't marry. You can't sell pussy out of this. You can't start an OnlyFans out of this. You're fucking done. You've reached your capacity. You reach your capacity. You can't get married out of this. The things that she could have done at 20 and 30, she could get out of this. She can't get out of this now. All right, let's continue here.
I really didn't, because I'd always landed on my feet. And this is the first time I had not. So I went and I finally got a job and was working at a company. I talked to them, told them I do acting. Every now and then I might need some time off. Because, I wasn't doing like big time. I wasn't gone all the time. It was fine. They hired a manager who had a problem with it. And she didn't want to give me any additional opportunities. She had issue with me. And I'm a worker. I'm dependable. Most of the time I was there and I would look around and I would see other people not showing up for work, leaving early, coming late. And that's not how I work. I'm going to be on time. I'm going to be on time. I'm going to work my butt off. I'm going to help you. I'm going to support you. I'm going to leave on, I'll leave at my designated hour if I don't have anything else hanging or, over. I eventually ended up leaving in April because she was riding me. And I was like, I am not going to put up with this. Well, sorry, was checking to see if someone else was there. But I ended up finding another job. I was working Amazon in the warehouse. Did that for a while. I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. And eventually got another job. Okay, that was April. And July, started a new job in July 10. It was a contract to hire position. So I was getting on my feet and everything. And I felt bad because my goal was, the young lady I was living with, I was only going to be there a year. And I ended up being there the whole time, minus maybe a couple of months, few months.
Let me stop you right there, guys. I know women have gone through this. So she's not describing it accurately. For people who don't know what she's saying, this woman probably lived with another older woman. The older woman probably was renting out a bedroom. So she was like the woman I was living with. This woman was literally living with another woman renting out beds. Now, this is where the girl bosses, and these women are out here saying that they're going to be bosses and they're going to be, and that feminism card just runs completely out. Now you're living in a trailer park in a bedroom with another old broad like the Golden Girls. All right, so that's what she's saying there. That's exactly what she did. And she probably was majorly struggling, probably back on rent and jumping from job to job. She don't want to listen at her other job. She wants the other job to bend the rules for her. Oh, I got an acting gig. I hope you understand. No, they don't understand. This is your job. Okay, a new person got hired. Well, the person that hired her understood, but that person got replaced. The new person said, we ain't going for it. Right? And them raindrops is hitting hard. So now she had to say, well, I ain't going to do that. Now she's just in a death spiral working at Amazon. She was financially recovering. She thought she was going to stay for 1 year. Now she's staying for 2 years, just renting out a room, just walking around with a moo-moo, scratching her under titties. Like, now, if she has children, she probably would have tried to move in on those adult children and crashed their whole party. So the adult children would have tried to pick up the slack. I'm pretty sure that's probably what she's going to say happened, but let me hear what happened here.
Because what ended up happening, I got my job, I was getting on my feet, I was like, I want my own place. Moved out, and the place I moved into was roach infested. And I thought, okay, maybe this is a fluke. I'm seeing a few. They terminated. It's probably been empty a while. But no. Y'all, I slept in my bedroom, tried to cover the door so they couldn't get in. It didn't matter. They got in. I woke up one morning, and there was some crawling up the wall. And I thought, I can't do this. I had ordered furniture, and I had to cancel that order. I never unpacked, and then I would have to unpack. When I got ready to leave, when I finally was like, I've had enough of Atlanta. Nothing's working out. I'm broke. I can't seem to get on my feet. I'm not bouncing back. I was stressed. I thought, I'm going home, and I had been talking to my sister and everything. And I hate it because I felt like I quit too soon and I gave up, but I did not. I felt as if I didn't have a choice. So I talked to my employer and she said I could work remote if I committed for 2 years. Y'all, when you get ready to make a major decision, talk to God first. Because you can talk to people and they will talk you out of what you ask God for. Because I asked God specifically, if I could have a job, I could work remote, I could stay with this company, and I could move back to Memphis. Well, in my ear, and then even me, so I can't blame it on them because it was my final decision, I decided not to work remote. I regretted that because I'm thinking, I'll go back to my old company. That did not happen. And I'm still not there. I've been back since August of 2024, and it is... what month is this? This is February of 2025. I applied for several positions, and I have enough rejection emails from them. If I printed them out, I can wallpaper at least one wall. I am not going back. I don't know what's on my file, but they are not hiring me back. Period.
Well, you're a malcontent. Don't listen. You give up easy. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a whole bunch of people here that are not giving you a positive recommendation. And you said you have a contract to hire. Sound like you were part of a temp agency or some sort of hiring agency that was under contract. They was probably stealing 30% of your money. And then you went over there to try to get a full-time hire. I've seen people go through this. All right. And trust me, when you're older as a man or a woman, this is not the time to do that bullshit. This is not the time. Just ride that shit out. So you wanted to move out of the house, then you ended up in the hood. Guys, this is why I don't listen to women. Like, guys, this is why I don't let women run my life. Because they're willing to live in squalor and in hell for their own life, but they want you to elevate her life. Like, if she lives with a man and you put her in that position, she'd be like, this nigga ain't shit. But she will live in that situation herself, right? And let you drag yourself down to be in that situation and then live you. I don't let women guide you twin mattress niggas listening to women. Hell no. California King. Okay? Because the women will come in my life and live like that and come to my house and be like, how come you don't have a pool in the backyard? Like, what? Like, do you have a pool in your backyard? You got roaches and rats going up and down the wall. But you come over here talking about you should put a pool in your backyard. Like, I mean, this is what we do. We allow them to do this. We allow them to guide us down in these directions. Oh, do this, do that. I'm telling you, they don't have a plan. And when they don't have the ability to monetize out of that plan, dating, marriage, selling sex, OnlyFans, getting jobs that young, pretty, attractive women get, right? Getting jobs that young women, They don't have no plan, bro. Right? They don't got no plan. Their plan is God, Sky Daddy. All right, Sky Daddy. That's the only thing they got. All right, and that's because that's naturally what they depend on. They just haven't been independent long enough to find answers. All that has to change is the economy, the president, gas prices, prices of eggs, and they shit out of luck. So are some of you men shit out of luck. Okay? All right, shit out of luck. Barbarians at the gate. But they'll let your life go down to this and on a whim.
So I've had to live with that. You know, before I left, my boss told me, don't leave. But I left anyway. Much regret. But here I am, February, and I realized, back in August, I moved in with someone, and it was not the ideal situation. I had conversations with this person before, and I should have gone with what I knew. In the beginning, the person didn't want me to move in. And I should not have. Eventually, she opened up her doors to me. And it wasn't horrible, but there were challenges.
Is this her daughter?
There are other things I won't discuss. But
I guarantee you this is her daughter. I guarantee you the person is her daughter. All right. Come on, ma'am. Spit this shit out. I guarantee you.
There were challenges. But she allowed me. We set our rent. She was very kind about it and everything because I was still looking for a job. So I just tried to make sure I could give her, what we agreed upon every month. And I did. I got here. I DoorDashed. I did anything I could. Mostly it was DoorDash to make money so I could try to keep up with my bills. Something happened and I felt it was time for me to move out. I did get
There we go. Yeah, I tell you, man, the daughter wasn't going for it. All right, she tried to, I'll pay you a little bit of rent. Something happened. You stopped paying her rent. I mean, that's what happened. Sister or daughter, you stopped paying the rent, or you weren't paying the rent on time, or you thought that she shouldn't be charging you the rent, or she should be understanding that you couldn't pay, and that's why you had to bounce. I mean, this is the death spiral. It's her sister. I'm telling you, man. Then they probably leaned on the sister. Hey, I'm down bad. Can you take me in? And then you start saying, yeah, you need to do this, clean up. You need to leave the house. You need to, just because you live here sleeping on the couch or in the fucking extra spare bedroom don't mean you get to sit up in the house all day. You're out of the house at 9 and you can come back at 9 p.m. You leave the house at 9 a.m. You come back at the house at 9 p.m. This is a fucking shelter. All right. And you don't be out late. You're not smoking weed and cigarettes and drinking beer all on the patio. You're not talking to my neighbors. Leave my neighbors alone. You don't live here. I just talk to your neighbor. Don't fucking talk to the neighbor. You don't live here. You're only staying here for a little while and you're getting the hell out. And you owe me $600 in rent. Well, I ain't using that much water. I ain't using that much toilet paper. That's what happened. That's exactly what happened. And now y'all fell out with your sister. All right. Or your daughter. Let's continue.
Contract position in October. But by that time I was behind on a few things, not severely. Moved out, got my own place. And I am happy about having my own place. Because ain't nothing like going home. And it's quiet. Run through your house, however you want to. So, decorate how you want to. Move things around like you want to. You know what I'm saying. Moved in. Just felt that, apply for the apartment, applied, moved in. It's a good apartment complex. The rent is not ridiculous. It's decent in my opinion. Still on a contract position. Trying to make ends meet. They are waving at each other. Every now and then they shake hands. And I don't know what happened in the last 30 days. And it just seemed like everything, it's as if the bottom is falling out. And I go through this, God, I've done everything I believe you've asked me to do. I do need to have a little bit more joy behind it.
Why don't everything but get a man? Everything but get a man. Like, this is where we're telling you, man. I don't know who told women this. Is that women have always survived off of men. Now, has it always been good for them? No. All right. Yes. This can lead to abuse and shit like that. Or you can live in squalor. I mean, you can live in squalor for 5-6 years running. All right. I was out in squalor in 6 months, right? I was like in and out in 6 months. But here she is going on year 5. All right. And the ship is sinking. One disaster after the next. Anything but get a man. I ain't listen to these men out here. These guys my age ain't got no teeth. All right, go ahead then. All right, just how do you live your life like this? Continually 3, 4, 5 years down the line with no goddamn light at the end of the tunnel in sight. Nothing. And they will just tragically just de-evolve into this. All right. Nothing to reach for. All right. Social services, Trump done dried that up. All right. Can't sell punani, can't get married, can't act right, got a bad attitude. Nobody wants to keep you at a job. I mean, I told you this was coming. And she ain't the only one. We're going to have a massive amount of women in this situation, in this, right? Massive amount.
I believe I'm where I'm supposed to be. I believe I was supposed to come back to Memphis. I believe I was supposed to go to this place, do this, X, Y, and Z. Why am I struggling? Where is the support? And I keep thinking back. He set everything up, and I feel like
what support?
I spit in his face, and I'm being punished. But I know
this God shit got to go, bro. All right, God spitting you spit in God's face, and He's punishing you. No, you're just horrible at decision making. All right, come on, man. Don't put God into this. All right, now it's God's fault.
And it's all Jermaine's fault. It's always Jermaine's fault.
Come on, man.
No, that's not how God works. These are the repercussions of my own actions.
Yes, okay, good.
And I'm not angry at him, but I am angry with myself. And it's been tough. I have one person who I tell everything to. And I know somebody watching this thinks it's them, but it's not. Sorry, I almost went somewhere. Because I realized you cannot share with people even if they're considered a friend. I just got to a point where I was tired of being stuff thrown back in my face, no support. Sometimes I just need people to listen and let me just have my moment and not criticize me for it. But I'm going to leave that over there. Right over. Okay, so...
See, one of the weaknesses of, I need to do a show on women's strengths because I do point out their weaknesses quite a bit. This is one of their weaknesses. All right. I just want people to listen and not judge. I just want people to let me vent and offer nothing back in return. I just want them to just hear me out and not criticize me. Guys, this has been a weakness of women since they were 10 years old. This is when they rebel, is because they can't listen. They just want to vent and take no instructions. This is why they misguided and undecided and head for self-destruction. And you're telling them, you're looking at them head for self-destruction. And a lot of you guys are trying to save them with your goddamn cape on right here, thinking that, well, here I come to save the day. So let me trauma dump on you, but just don't tell me what's right. Don't read me like a book. He said that's called a therapist. Exactly. But they don't want to pay for a therapist. They want you to just get trauma dumped on. And this is a weakness. Dude, if they listened at 10, they would be okay. But they always think men are got an ulterior motive or trying to lie on them or make them a slave. If you would have listened at 10, you would have been good. But you didn't. All right. And now here we are again, where this is going to be the norm. This is already the norm.
But I have someone, I consider her sister, a really good friend that I can talk to. I can call. She'll pray with me. She understands the spiritual things I'm going through, as well as the physical and the financial. And I don't feel horrible when I get off the phone. Where with so many other people, I feel like crap. I am hard enough on myself. And it's difficult because I think back to who I am. I went to school on to college on an academic scholarship. I graduated with honors. I'm talented, I'm smart, I have a great work ethic. And it's just been hard because I'm not making the money I was making. But God knows I am so grateful to be working. And I've just panicked because I'm trying not to resort to any of my old ways. I don't want to borrow any money because, of course, my credit has tanked.
Guys, this is textbook of what I teach you guys. This is what I tell you, man. In your 20s and 30s, you might struggle with women, but wait till they get to 45 and 50. It's going to be a different show. All right. And some of them are still going to be doing good. The most of them are going to be like in bad shape. All right. Debt, student loan debt ain't paid off. They're in bad shape. All right. And I know this because I'm in this age and I know what women look like my age and I know what they're dealing with. I'm like, I don't want no parts of that. Don't want no parts of that. I'll be down with a 20-year-old in a second. It's an easy decision. I don't care how she looks or any of that. I know what they're dealing with. As soon as they bring up they hate the orange man or we should have had Kamala, I know they up shit's creek. Right? I'm like, I know her finances and her credit is terrible. All right, so here we go right here. Just not listening.
my life to come back together.
Oh, yeah, and got the degrees. Again, degrees don't mean nothing, all right? All these degrees, more degrees than a thermometer, and still out here.
And graduated from college with my bachelor's at 20 with a degree in communication sciences with an emphasis in speech and language pathology.
That's why that degree shit means nothing to men, because at the end of the day, you're going to need discipline and hustle, and that's something that they lack, all right? And they'll lack it significantly if they don't work on it in their 20s.
And it's hard. And I think, oh my gosh, I am 7 years on the other side of 50, and waiting for this to work out is hard. And I don't know what I'm going to do. She kind of laughed at me because I said, you know what? I'm at the point where I want to give away what I can give away, put all my stuff in storage, and live in my car. I don't want to do that. Please, God, that is not what I want. I don't want to do that, but that's what I feel, because I feel like that's the only way I'm going to catch up and get back on track.
Not a marriage, not men. See, listen, I'm not pro-marriage today, but why do women not just say, all right, what rebellious Jezebel spirit makes a woman say, damn, all right, okay, I'm still not going to get married. Why not marry out of this? Why don't you just be like, put on your Aunt Jemima fucking robe and hat and just be a wife? Right? Why not? Why not? Why not just go find a man and man your way out of this? Because that's what you're doing anyway. Right? Nope. Anything but a man. Yep. We got 4th and 30 for sure. Anything but marriage and a man and listening to a man. That ain't going to happen. All right. So I'm going to get my way out of this. No, you're not. Just to let you know. And you're almost to the point where you're going to be living in your car in Memphis. Probably not the best condition for a 50 woman in her late 50s to do so.
This is hard. This is harder than I thought it would be. And it's the first time in my life I have felt like I don't have an out, that I'm stuck and I can't move. And that is suffocating. And it makes me, in this wide open space, claustrophobic, life claustrophobic, and it's difficult. I love my job. I mean, it's not anything to write home about, but it's peaceful here. I get along with, I get along with the people. My manager here is great. I cannot complain.
They like being slaves. They like being slaves. Like, I mean, she gonna make some YouTube money, so congratulations on that. She about to get about a good 10K from YouTube this month. All right, so shout out to her. I like that. I like that for her. And she gonna realize she better grind it out on YouTube. All right, so she's seeing it. But they love being slaves. I got a job. I got a good manager. Man, you damn near 60 talking about a job and a manager. How you at 60 talking about job and manager? I got a good job. You don't have no other way to, no other talents to earn money on the side? You go straight to job, all right? It's like, bro, you're 60. You could have figured out how to make a couple of dollars on the side. All right, but anyway, yeah, that $10,000 ain't going nowhere. All right, I mean, she going to get it, but she going to figure out how to grind it out on YouTube, so I hope she does.
Everything that has happened are the repercussions of my actions, because I chose to chase a dream and I feel like I did it the wrong way. So here I am. I'm sitting in my car at work and I said, record the video. Somebody I watch and used to follow, I don't follow anymore, I won't call their person's name, but they were a financial guru, said something. Basically, if you haven't accomplished or gained or whatever, you shouldn't be on YouTube. You shouldn't be talking about your life. You need to basically saying you need to wait until, you're all set and you're good and you can go back and talk about how you made it. Y'all, I'm in it. And I'm going to record.
That's bad information by that person.
While I'm in it. And this is hard because this is embarrassing.
Yeah.
This is not how I thought my life would be. But there are so many other things I know I have to be grateful for. I'm not, I don't have any, crazy, I'm not homeless. I'm not homeless. I still have my car, but I'm just tired of robbing Peter and Paul to pay Andrew, who now wants his money. I know.
Yeah, but I mean, guys, Jesus. I mean, this is wild, but a lot of men and women live like this, and they claim that money ain't everything and want to be moral. When money becomes an issue, I always tell you, money's going to become an issue. For real. It's going to become an issue. So all you people that like, I don't have to work and I'm going to wait for a check and money's going to always be an issue. You're going to always need income. You're always going to need to be able to adjust to the new marketplace. Even myself, I'm doing good now. But in 5 years, 10 years, it's going to be something else, and I won't have this. I may not have this. I may have it. Who knows? I may be bigger than this. I might get the Spotify deal. But that's probably not, I'm not depending on that. I'm just going to keep doing what I do and then take some of this money and then be able to pivot out of it and keep myself going, okay, into my 60s and 70s. I don't think I'll be fucking doing YouTube until my 60s. Who knows, right? Who knows? But it could happen. Unfortunately for her, she's in massive debt, and she's not talking about that. In her 50s with no retirement save, no prospects for a husband, and barely making it in her, she's almost to her car. And do not let them transmissions start slipping. You're one transmission slip away or a car accident away from being fucked royally. This is basically on the last string, man. She's on the last possible. And I hope, please don't go back to school.
It's crazy the way I say those things. But I'm tired. I don't want to borrow. I don't want to ask my family for help. Not that they would. I mean, not that they would have an issue with it, but I'm too old. I need this to come together. I need this to work out. I need to know that God is with me and he's working this out. And I just don't realize it yet. And a lot of times I isolate when things are bad. And,
stop letting God solve your problems, please. I'm tired of hearing that. That's so ridiculous. Let's continue.
It's hard because I feel alone. I feel like nobody understands. And when I think about my own situation, I think about people who have children who are trying to make it and they're doing the best they can. I don't know how people do it. And they make less than I do. I'm sorry. They make less than I do. I'm so sorry, y'all. I need a napkin.
My man Leo K said, God is busy. For real. God got bigger fish to fry than you. All right. And you already rebelled against God. So God ain't going to help you at this point.
I'm so sorry. They make less than I do and they make it. I'm not on any assistance. I can't have any assistance.
Why?
It's just me. And as far as the government is
ain't too proud to beg
concerned, I do not have a poverty level. I'm not at a poverty level.
Oh, okay.
But I got on to record this.
So she making,
because if I
there
don't,
could be a good possibility she's still making 80K and can't make it. All right. I guarantee you, bruh, she probably making something like $65,000 right now and still up Shit's Creek. Why? Go back to my point. If you go a year without income, you're going to be set back 5 years. Without question. It's going to be set back fast. You always need income. Even especially if you're check the check and you're going to do a little jump off and you're going to need income unless you have a quick turnaround within 7 months, 6 to 7 months. Okay. All right. Don't listen to these guys tell you. Now, that's not necessarily true. Yes, for most people, you're going to need income. Can't stop working. So she stopped working 1 year and she set back. She probably making a good 60K and still just in Struggleville. And as I tell you, if you ain't making 100K in the next 5 years, you're going to be up Shit's Creek. Right? And she making 60K and she's struggling and striving and shit. I'm telling you, man, let's continue. There's something she's leaving out.
I would not have the courage to do it later. I'm going to try to get on tomorrow. I've got another series I'm doing called No Eating Out. And part of the reason of no eating out was I realized how much money I was wasting. So I am doing and making steps to get my life back in order. And that's where I am. I don't know where you are, what challenges you have financially or wherever else in your life. But and I hate to say it this way because it was like, don't be telling me that. Keep the faith if you are a disciple of Christ. Keep your faith. Know that God is with you. He said in his word, he would never forsake you or abandon you. And I always go back and then you have to read the whole scripture. It says, I've never seen, I'm going to mess it up. The righteous begging bread. I messed up that scripture. I just ruined it.
All right. When people struggle, they become faithful. You know what I mean? And shout out to you, faithful people, parishioners of the Lord, Jesus Christ, the Latter-day Saints, or whatever y'all got. People start talking like this, and I'm like, you're really going to be screwed if you keep following that path. All right. God, look at what God did with your life for 57 years. All right. You think what he's going to do the next year? Same or less? God ain't there, man. God's away on business. Everybody right. God's away on business. All right, hold on for a second. We gonna fucking do this live. All right, here we go right here.
We'll do it live. Okay. No. We'll do it live.
All right, God's away on
do
business.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
All right, God got another job right now. All right, hold on for a second. Let's get to that shit real quick. All right, we gonna get it right here. Yeah, he is.
God's away. God's away. God's away on business. Business. Taking up the tab.
Yeah, there he is.
God's away on business. God's away. God's away on business. Business. God's away. God's away. God's away on business. Business.
All right. God's away on business. Shout out to Cookie Monster. God's away on business. Now, what you gonna do with your life? All right, God's ain't got no time right now. Here we go. Here we go.
But just thinking about that, I'm so sorry I'm sniffing, but you know, I have to remember God is with me, and through this, I have to trust that He is working it out.
He's not.
I don't know His purpose in allowing it because
He's
He
not.
can so easily put me a check in the mail. I've seen Him do it.
He's not working for you. All right, he's away on business. He's busy right now. All right, and you were too busy for him. He's busy for you.
Before I know how God works. I have an experience with Him. I have a relationship with Him, and He's done miraculous things in my life.
All right, waiting for a miracle. I tell you, man, these people, just waiting for a miracle. Just my uncle. All right, bro, I'm telling you, man, these people like this, they need to be pointed out, because what's going to happen in between God not doing it and your miracle? Social services, we vote in Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Michelle Obama. All right, you're going to do God. You're going to turn the world upside down waiting on God. Jesus, God's busy. He don't got call waiting right now. He got some shit to do. All right, but anyway, man, the barbarian's at the gates, clearly. Let's get to these super chats. I got more show later on today. Enjoyed this clip. Check me out on the Free Agent Lifestyle channel for the best morning live stream every weekday. And of course, we're back for the evening live streams as well. Check out the times and the featured channels on this channel right here. And also the links are in the description box. I will see you there.
New world order.